Hey, everybody, welcome back to our Warp World Season 3, but
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We haven't been on.
The disappointment.
So let me tell you how excited I was to find out we got our numbers from Buzzsprout. 2! We got 2 downloads from the live show. I was like, oh, wait, we made it. We made it.
Hold up. The live show didn't get connected, didn't get uploaded to Buzzsprout.
Oh, then our last episode only got 2. Oh, my God. That's the lowest ever. Who did
More
we have on? We
disappointing.
got to know not to have on again.
Oh, I don't know. who
Jim
that
always
was.
get, but I looked at it. I'm like, oh, dear Lord. Are you
No,
kidding me? I'm like, it can't just
that
be
can't
2.
be right.
I think it was either 2 or 4, dude. And
No,
2 doesn't count because I download one. So that's
I download the other one. That's the sad part.
Caleb's like,
No.
I haven't downloaded any of them.
I haven't listened.
Mark doesn't know how to read the things. We had 18.
Is that updated?
Yeah.
Okay, from when I looked at it on Monday, it was 2.
No, that was 2 downloads Monday.
Oh, all right. What?
On
Right,
that specific
okay,
day.
anyways, we have 18. Hey, yeah, everybody.
We
give us a lot.
doubled our daily downloads, though.
Wow, man. It is a little weird because we've had some pretty good numbers lately, but we actually took a little bit of a break. And
It happens to us, everything, Thanksgiving, and then we hit the Christmas party, and then it's just everyone gets so busy. And
so we usually always kick back up around this time every year. That's why it's not really a start of our calendar year or anything, but this is usually.
And that's, let me explain the cringe on the season 3. I did last year, I did season 2 because we took that long break. And then we're doing our anniversary show in the middle of it in July. So just like season 3 next season.
Yeah, whatever the hell it is.
We're not even gonna, I stopped numbering the episodes. We're not even calling them seasons anymore. Anyway.
Kayla, what have you been up to for the last month? About a month.
Has it been? I mean, if you guys didn't listen to the live show,
Oh, yeah.
I was very intoxicated and drunk.
yeah.
If all you viewers go out and see that.
Yeah, let me tell everyone, if you want to see...
Dr. Weed.
If you need to nap, check out the live show on our Facebook page. I did not upload it as a podcast episode, but it will be on our Facebook page. I think for 90 days, hopefully only 30.
And it's only an hour.
It was horrible.
And about 20 minutes is worth
no,
actually
it's
listening
because
to.
we kept stopping and starting and stopping and starting and talking to 45. I love all of the people that we talked to. I'm not mad about that. It's the fact that we talked to everybody that went to Laughlin
Right.
Yeah.
except
No.
for our guest today.
The ones that were there
Except
early and then
for
left,
our
they
guest
never
today.
came back.
So we had to get him in whatever.
Well, I'm kind of glad I took the day to nap then because it
Yeah.
sounded like it was good.
The rest of us did too. I got stupid drunk. I haven't been that drunk in years. Finally got a hold of
You
some
held it
Bacardi
pretty
and
well,
Coke.
because I didn't think so.
Oh, I was
Oh, I
was
knew.
stupid.
I had no
drunk.
idea you were even drinking, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was gulping, not even just drinking. I was gulping rum and Coke because every time I get to these parties or anything, it's always spiced rum, and I really don't care for spiced rum. Bought myself a bottle of Bacardi, drank it like it was Kool-Aid, and holy shit, I've had 5 of them. So the next day, I woke up enough to do the podcast and go to dinner. I think I slept through dinner. I'm not even sure. And then went home, went to sleep. I was just so hungover. It was bad.
That's what you do in Laughlin.
Yeah.
That is.
No,
That's
I was
For you.
I was useless. So if you watch the show, you're going to see Fat Jim just laying back in the chair trying to survive.
I think that was all of us, though. Like I said, it was interesting. We got the live show to even frickin' work. So,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
applause to Jamie and y'all and whatever. But
You know what I
Hey,
was?
I got the right one.
What I was
Didn't
more
want that.
excited about is us doing the TikTok about him trying
No.
to figure out how to get us on live, and you had us live on TikTok. And
oh,
I'm like,
no, we were on Facebook, old man.
Facebook, and what was it? What did I say?
I don't even
me and
know.
you we're on Facebook watching Jim how to figure out how to get us on Facebook. That's what we were doing. That's how bad that show was, and it lasted for like 20 minutes. We were
Yeah,
doing that.
at some
so.
point, we were just got to do something.
So you were up in Laughlin.
Yeah, we went to Laughlin. I bought those sticky hands, and I don't care. That was my favorite part.
That is a new game.
Well, I
Hasbro,
found-
we need to call Hasbro.
No, I found a TikTok that it's ultimately you stand around a table and put a quarter in the middle, and then you get those sticky hands from when you were a kid, and your goal is to get the quarter from the middle to your side. Everyone's like, this is the dumbest shit ever, Mark.
And then you play it, and it's the greatest
And
thing
everyone
ever.
played it, and
Yes.
everyone played it multiple times.
Right.
It was
So-
awesome. I'm going to admit. I was like, this is, because we're
That's what
just
I
sitting there, and I'm like, this is going to be the stupid, because you're just, remember, you were just starting. You weren't anything, and you weren't anything. And then
Yeah.
you threw a quarter on, and then I'm like, Okay. And then everybody's fucking whacking the shit out of this thing.
So I got my 2 kids with me, my daughter, and Jamie's my niece, but she's my kid. And they're playing with this thing before we even get to the table. And I'm like, oh, damn kids. Well, at least they're having fun. This is old people town. Now all of a sudden, they're the life of the party. They're over there with their slap
Dude,
hand
when that
thing.
quarter got off, everybody's like, "Whoa!" It
was fucking louder than a
It was
table.
crazy, man. I was like, my God, a roar just went up for the person that won. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so,
no, that was my favorite part.
Again, if you guys don't know, we got the Bob Newhart Suite up in Laughlin. I can't hear anything, Jim, right now. But we had the Bob Newhart Suite.
The whole
We had
neighborhood
20
can hear
people
you.
that actually showed up, had a good time. Officer Bob, who we're going to actually introduce here in a second, was up there. Kayla was up there. Jim was up there. It was just fun. It was another good time. It might be 3 years in a row. We might have to think something else differently, but it's fun. The casino was actually pretty packed this time. It was probably the busiest.
It was crowded.
It was probably the busiest that I've seen in the 3 years that we've been there. So.
I had such a good time playing craps with you guys. And Mandy was just rolling like crazy. She was getting 12, 15 rolls before she crapped out.
You know what pissed me off about you rolling or them rolling craps is I give not Carla, my wife Holly money. So I'm like, hey, play for us, whatever. And so everybody's cheering, and I go, Holly, we went no. And so everybody, Mandy would roll again. Yeah, everybody's cheering. I'm like, we went. No, I didn't bet that. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is going? Crap out. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man? You guys would make $50-$60, and Holly's like, I didn't bet that.
Well, no. Then after everyone left, went to bed, it was just me and Holly. So I mean, I was carrying.
Shocking.
Yeah. If anyone knows my wife, exactly.
I was carrying her boots around the casino and everything, but it was just it was fun just to hang out with her. Her and I don't really get much time to hang out with each other. So
she usually doesn't talk to anyone when she's gambling.
Yeah.
So you should feel very special.
No, it was fun. It was a great time. It was a great time. All right, well, we're getting to springtime here, and new TV shows are starting. But let's talk about season finales. CBS and Fox's action drama, The NFL, came to an end last week.
Oh, I was like, what are we talking about?
Yes, the Super Bowl was last week. Yes, it was.
I still think it's scripted.
Oh my God, these are they believe in conspiracy theories, which are just driving. me
you know what?
crazy.
I haven't read a single thing about it. It's what I see on TV that makes me think it's scripted.
Yeah, you just witnessed one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL winning the Super Bowl again. That's what you're seeing. That's what you need to appreciate.
That was a statement that you proudly said.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't believe in rigged sporting events. I believe in rigged officials, but I don't believe in rigged sporting events.
Wasn't there some question of a illegal man downfield on that last play?
Yes, there was, because their offensive lineman was at least 3 yards downfield blocking before he threw that pass. And I'm not saying that the NFL is rigged or anything like that, but officials can be rigged because it was proven and admitted to in the NBA.
Absolutely.
So to say that it can't happen in the NFL is a little crazy, because obviously it really can. We're all humans, right? Humans can do that. But I don't know. Some of the stuff was clearly obvious of what was happening. Some of the calls went to the 49ers, like that, intentional grounding on Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Which clearly looked like there was a receiver in the area. But there was other things that could have went either way.
And so
it was a great game.
Who you're hearing, by the way, is Officer Bob.
Yeah.
Bob is going to.
Sorry.
You're going to hear Officer
Should have
Bob.
done a little intro there in the beginning.
We should have did a better intro, but Officer Bob is going to be joining us for a lot of fun stories about his former job at the police department. But yeah, as for. Listen, I don't want to believe any. I know it happened, I'm sure, and you're in Vegas, everything. I don't want to believe that kind of. I just thought, to be honest with you, the first 3 quarters were one of the worst Super Bowl games I ever watched. It was boring. It wasn't fun. And then the fourth quarter and overtime was awesome. I mean, I loved it. And so I want to believe in dynasties. I want to believe in great teams. I'm a sports fan. I want to believe in that. And if you're a diehard sports fan, you don't want to believe that athletes can actually throw it. In today's day and age with money, I just don't believe that would ever happen, because there's so much money these athletes are being paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they're
Tom
getting
Cruise
paid
makes a
to-
lot of money too.
Well, he doesn't throw a movie. I mean,
But you know what? If the script told him to, he would. Anyway. No, the thing is, I wanted Kansas City to win more for my hatred of the 49ers than my love for Kansas City. But you also got to bring in, let's just say it, the Taylor Swift element. Kansas City was going to win because we didn't want to piss off 300,000 Swifties. You know,
You sound like a Trump MAGA guy. Taylor Swift is.
No. Because I will
for the
tell you,
Democratic
all these
Party.
people that are hating on Taylor Swift, I'm sorry.
I
You know
love
what?
her.
She brought in a whole bunch of new viewers that the NFL hadn't had.
Oh, they're loving life.
Yeah, and everyone's enjoying it. She's just in love with this guy, and he kind of looks real. I think, you know.
I mean, it ain't gonna last. She's gonna write a song. She'll fucking sell 1 million copies, and freaking it'll be
But
great.
you know what?
Which will be great. I'll listen to it. Travis Kelce's an asshole.
So, but anyway, no, I don't think people should be hating on Swift or Kelsey or any of them.
Halftime show for us millennials.
All right. So last year we had the
Prego.
baby bump and all these sperm that didn't make it. What do you think of this year's?
Besides, okay, so I saw the meme the other day about the purple suit he was wearing, and it looked like from Dodgeball.
Yes.
That meme was great, dude. And it did almost look exactly
Yes.
like the Dodgeball that Ben Stiller was wearing.
What?
Will you turn on my headphones?
So it was kind of amazing that I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of weird. Jim, you had an interesting take with the roller skates. I don't know.
Yeah,
you
well,
might know
I
this, but people our age do know this.
I just saw a guy dressed as Tron performing the Xanadu finale.
Yeah, it was. And for you, everybody out there is not familiar with Xanadu. It's the world's worst movie with the best soundtrack. It really is a lot of ELO, but it was with Olivia Newton-John and I don't even
Gene
know.
Autry.
Gene Autry.
And
Gene
some-
Kelly, not
Gene
Autry.
Kelly.
Gene
Gene
Kelly.
Kelly. I'm sorry.
That was before he died. I'm sure he was telling God. He must have made a deal with the devil to do that one. But guys, Xanadu, if you know the band Electric Light Orchestra, ELO, to this day, that band still has not watched the movie because it's such a bad movie. And but he's absolutely right. The whole movie, half the movie takes place on roller skates in Xanadu. So
Yeah, actually, there is quite
Quite
you're
a few
right.
roller
Wow, I
skates.
forgot about that. It is mostly on roller
But
skates.
for the
Very
most
weird.
part, I thought it started out really slow and like, hey, I'm going to go make love to my girl. That's about what it was. It looked like you should be dimming the lights. You should have some candles lit, and your new wife should spend that 12 minutes making love.
Credit to Usher for all he's done for music and everything. But
I didn't know he had that many hits.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't for me. I don't know. I really haven't.
What
been-
is for you? The Hollies or freaking...
No, yeah, I was looking over previous halftime shows, and the one that really I don't even know when it was. I didn't even catch the year, but it was Michael Jackson's halftime show. It was pretty cool. So that
Prince's was, I think, still
Prince's
the best
was
to this
good,
day.
yeah.
Prince's was great.
the shark thing with what's her name?
Baby
Perry.
Shark?
Katy
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry
Perry's
had all the
just
sharks.
hot.
That was,
Anything
that was
she
fun.
does is
Yeah.
Right.
turns to gold.
I'd like to see him get like Kelly Clarkson to do the halftime show.
Kelly Clarkson.
I'm a fan of Kelly Clarkson. She could sing.
You know, I know
Tax
you're
Code.
gay.
She could sing tax code.
I like Kelly. She's all right. She'll
she's
do it
she's
fine.
awesome, but I don't think she's an entertainer in the sense of dancing and shit like that. So I don't think they'll ever have her.
But it was a great Super Bowl. You guys are talking a lot of shit for conspiracy theories and everything. Let's look around as
that was just kind of joking around because we've been talking about the scripted NFL all year long. I thought it was just the Cardinals game, but you can question it. We'll see what next season holds.
true NFL fans do not think there's conspiracies, and we want to believe that the athletes want to play, and we want them to succeed in what they're doing at the highest level.
And there you have
That's
it.
that's what we want.
And that's the story.
Good night, Phoenix. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back with Officer Bob. Be back with you.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Warp World. We had a great little talk about what we've been doing. We've missed you guys. We haven't been here for about 6 weeks, so we're going to go back onto our every other week schedule so you guys will be able to listen to us on a regular basis. We'll have fun. I'm excited about that, getting back on a regular basis. But tonight, we actually have been wanting to get a former police officer on for a little while. And tonight, we're lucky enough. We have Officer Bob from a smaller community police department who is now retired, who is going to be sharing the insights of the in and outs of I'm hoping the down and dirty of
The insides of the
of
outsides.
the police department is what I'm looking for. But everybody, let's give it up for Officer Bob, everybody. Yeah, Officer Bob. So, Officer Bob, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long were you a cop? Fun stuff like that to get started.
Well, I was a police officer for a little over 11 years. I started when I was pretty young.
What's pretty young?
24.
Okay. Well, some people come out and try to do it at 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah,
So.
I think, yeah. So, I mean, it was perfect timing for me. Everything kind of worked out pretty good. And, yeah, I worked the streets probably 90% of my career and then was on a motorcycle for the last 4 years of my career doing traffic stuff. And it all worked out for me. I loved it.
So what made your decision that you are 11 years, you're more than halfway to retirement, you know, you're young.
Yep.
So what made your decision to say, hey, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore?
A couple of things. So one is, you know, it just got to be too political where they stopped letting us be cops. And everybody had to be, you know, handled with kid gloves when, you know, these are grown men making decisions, and we have to deal with those decisions. So that was a little difficult. The other one, it was weighing on me mentally. 11 years of doing that stuff and seeing the worst of the worst. 4 years of fatal accident collisions and so forth kind of started to break me down a little bit. And yeah, I just decided it was enough for me.
Right.
It's fair. I mean, Jim, go ahead. I
want to remind everyone, as always, we're by the fire pit, and that was
The slowest moving plane.
In the
Officer
history
Bob,
of
I was
planes.
listening,
No,
I promise.
I hired it. It
but
says Our Warped World. It's my it's our advertising plane.
Mark had a plane, one of those things behind.
Sir, you're not supposed to fly over my house. I know.
No, we literally just sat here talking, like shooting the shit. No airplane. As soon as we hit record, boom.
Well, anyway, right from the start, and this is going to be a very stupid question. It'll be the only one I will admit is stupid. He said he called you a cop, and then you said you were a police officer. And I've always wondered, is cop offensive to police officers?
I mean, it's not offensive. For me, officer was always, it just seemed more official, I guess.
More official, more respectful.
Yeah, more respectful,
Sure.
than being
All right.
like, hey, that's how I introduce myself to, and, you know, like, hey, what, you know, you get that question a lot, like, oh, well, what'd you do before this? Like, oh, I was a police officer. So if you say, like, I was a cop, it just, I don't know, it just sounds, like, degrading almost.
Sure.
Yeah,
I get it. I always wondered if they found it offensive, if they, like, you know, if
Right, yeah,
officers found it. I always try to call them police officers, and then I thought, am I sounding like an old man? So, you know, I gauge. But this is the first time I've sat down with a officer and was able to ask. So, okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to start diving into some questions here.
Okay.
Here we go. The whole interview's gone.
you know,
Let's have the children leave the room.
So 11 years, about the last 3 years have been basically what we're quoting the woke generation.
Yeah.
Did you see the difference in being an officer previous 8 years than from the last 3 years that you were doing it, on how everything was kind of changing in the world?
And to be honest with you, our community was really cool about backing police officers and kind of being okay with that. The worst part about the new generation was the admin. They were so afraid of the public turning on us that we got handcuffed to what we should or shouldn't do, or if, you know, it was almost ridiculous about the way people forgot, especially admin. Matter of fact, only admin forgot what it was like to be a police officer. You know, they get up in this. Now they're in their offices, in their little buildings, and they're not on the streets anymore, and they don't know how to deal with people. And our community didn't change. They've always backed us, and they always had, and they probably always will. It was great like that. So we didn't change, but they were so afraid because everybody else was changing and the news and all this other stuff. And it just got to be to a point where, like, well, like, what do you want me to do? And again, that was another contributing factor of why I left. It was just too much.
Did you see the difference in now you're being recorded what you're doing by bystanders, and were you more now worried about, okay, I got away with this in the past, would I still get away with this now, arresting the same person 8 years ago if I'm arresting now?
No, because you can arrest when you can arrest, right? I don't care if you're recording me or if you're standing like me and you are right now and you're recording me, but I got to arrest Jim over here because he fucked up, right? Okay, I know Jim fucked up, and I know that's an arrestable offense, and I could arrest him. You can record all day, right? Because it doesn't change the way I do my job. I know I can arrest him. It's an arrestable offense.
It didn't have you look at it. We'll get into this a little later, that you might have done 8 years ago that maybe I shouldn't have done that. That now if you do it, you'd be like probably more in trouble for.
Now, see, the only thing that changed with that was letting people off. Because now if you let somebody go, let's say I stop Jim and you're walking with him and Jim has weed on him. Now, normally I don't give a fuck if Jim has weed, a little bit of weed on him, right? Hey, Jim, you don't have meth on you. You don't have a warrant. You like to smoke a little weed. Cool, good for you. Have a good night. Bye. Right? Now, that same interaction, but you're recording me and you see me find weed on Jim. Now I can't let him go. Because now if I let him go and you release that video, now I'm getting fired for not arresting him for having weed on him.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of that point of view. That's wow.
Yeah. So don't record your buddies there, friends.
Hey, turn the recorder off right now. This is live, by the way.
He has
Officer
a weed
Bob.
on him.
Well, and that's the thing. I see these things all over the internet where it seems like the people recording are just trying to bait
Right.
the police. Do something wrong. So I'm recording you. Do something wrong. And it's like, shut up. Just let them do their jobs.
Yes. And again, it just makes our job a little bit more difficult. But again, I don't care. I've never cared. I know that's why I lasted in my career until I called it quit. I didn't get fired. Nothing crazy happened or anything like that. Like, I had decided this was not for me anymore because of the way it changed. And people, and I think in the small department I was from, in the small town, there was maybe one or two people that would consistently go around and do that. When they saw an officer interaction, they would go around, stop, and start recording you and start running their mouth, baiting you into something. But again, I'm the professional, and they're not. So now, when the cops do lose their cool, that's 100% on the cop, right? That's on him. But you just got to keep your cool. Let him record. Let him do whatever you want. 99% of the time, we're recording already anyways, right? We all have body cams now.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it matter?
When did it become... God, my vocabulary just sucks today. When did you have to start wearing a body cam?
So I think, honestly, we were pretty late on the list for about the last 2 years of my career. So I would say I stopped in 2021.
Was it during the pandemic?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
when we started wearing them.
During the pandemic.
No,
Yeah.
I meant when you retired.
Oh, when I left, it was right at the end. It was at
Okay.
the end of 2021.
Okay.
So
we
you were only wearing it for like 9 months then.
So I was only wearing mine for like maybe a year. Yeah.
I got you. So my question is, so every community has that one house where you're called 10, 11 times. Do you guys, like, if it comes on the radio, do you guys go, who's going to the
Not me.
Thomases?
Not
Yeah.
it.
I went last time. I'm not going. You got to have one of those stories.
Hold
man.
up. Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
I want to establish the community size. Did we do that? This isn't Mayberry, but it's not Chicago or whatever.
No, it's about 100,000, 150,000 people.
Okay.
How many on your force?
Oh, gosh. I would say about 160, I think.
Okay, so
Okay.
good size. Okay, all right. So that's what we're
now
going.
we got the established.
But there had to be
The house.
within your little set. I know everybody's got different sections because it's a
Right.
big city, but there had to be that one house that were always called that never really got arrested, but they were always domestic abuse or whatever.
Yeah.
There had to be where you guys all. I want to hear a story like
So
that.
there was nothing really, like, if we get called for something like what you just mentioned, like domestic something, like no matter what, like somebody's going to jail. I get called there twice, bro. Even
Okay,
if-
drunkenness. How about drunkenness?
drunkenness. So there you go, right? So nobody cares about that, right? It's just like, hey, go to fucking bed.
Yeah.
what are we doing here? You know what I mean? But there was this one lady, and I forget who she was, but that the name came out all the time, right? And she was mentally unstable. So there was one time where she was saying, like, there's people living in my walls, like, they're talking to me, they're doing all this stuff. Well, this officer went in, and he, like, scanned his fucking flashlight or something, like, up and down the walls, was like, all right, they're gone now, they won't bother you anymore, like, have a good night, and then sent her away, right? And then he left. Well, then after that, every call we got, she wanted somebody to scan her fucking walls with their flashlight because she thought it took care of them. So it was just like, oh, man. But yeah, that was one of them. And And then on the flip side of that, there's always an address where you get a call from where you're like, I need 2 or 3 guys. You know, like shit's going to go down. This is just their house. It's going to happen. So send me 2 or 3 people. You can't go there by yourself. And so there's both sides of that. But obviously the funner part of it is the 918 lady, the crazy lady that's like, oh, okay, like we could just scan her fucking walls and be done with the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all know, and we're going to stay away from it. We all know the darker side of being a cop and what you see and everything else. What I want to know is more on the wild story side that Officer Bob couldn't talk about when Officer Bob was working.
Stupid shit you dealt with.
Well, I mean, God, there's so much. But again, like the house parties that you get called to, right, all the time, you know, like noise complaint stuff. I mean, you know, this guy's having a party, but it's Friday night, like 8 p.m. They're having a party, you know. So I got dispatched to one, and you know, you go in the backyard, and there's probably 50 people there having like a typical like teenage like Hispanic birthday party. You know, there's so many people there, and everything's fun. And hey, listen, you guys got to keep it down a little bit. Like turn the music down. I really don't care that much, but somebody else does. So turn it down a little bit. Dude, I ended up like getting a plate made for me, like it was some food. Like I stayed there and talked to him. I got hit up to go dancing, which I didn't do because that was the only thing I was worried about was going and dancing with somebody, and again, somebody recording me.
Right.
But the plate of food, I'm not giving that up. Like, that was good. That was some homemade shit, and I knew it was like so. It's stuff like that, dude. I mean, that's fun. A lot of the job was fun, and stuff like that happened all the time.
But obviously, the negative way outweighed the positive because if it was even 80-20 or anything, you would have stayed and you'd done your time and you transfer if you wanted to transfer to a bigger or a smaller department. So obviously, we all know the downside of being a cop. We do know that. But again, you pull a girl over. I want to know some dirty details of Officer Bob.
Needs some
I need some dirty details.
The spicy shit.
Our public wants to know some dirty details of a retired cop.
I think the best story I have, and it was right when I got divorced the first time. When I was
nice. He's in my group, by the way, guys. He's in my group.
So I actually was. We got a disturbance call or something at this nightclub, the only one in the town that I really lived in, and I was walking through, and I knew the bouncers there, right? Because we were there all the time, right? It's the only nightclub there. And I'm walking through, and we had just handled the disturbance or whatever, and one of my bouncer buddies walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, that girl behind me, she wants to talk to you." And I looked, and I swear on everything, it was the most gorgeous girl I've seen in forever. I just got out of a marriage and all this other stuff, and I was like,
so really, she was 300 pounds.
Right? So she was drop dead gorgeous, little short Hispanic, like nice everything you could think of, right? And I'm like, well, I'll definitely talk to her. And so she came over, and her opening line was, "If I asked you to handcuff me and bend me over, would you do it?" Wow. And I said, "Absolutely."
For free, man. You don't even got to pay taxes.
With my uniform on. You can call me Officer Bobby while I'm doing it.
So it was I think like midnight, maybe 12:30. And I
Your
said,
shift ended at when?
At 2.
Oh.
So I worked 1600 to 02. And I said, absolutely, I will. And I handed her my phone. She put her phone number in, and the club closes at 2. I got off at 2.
2:05.
And
and that was marriage number 2.
And I
married her the next week.
I wish, but at 2:05, I was doing exactly what she asked me to do, and it was amazing.
Okay, so that's a great off the clock story. Okay? No, I'm going for I'm looking for on the clock.
Okay, so
I like your off the clock. I like that story.
So we'll fast forward this story then with the same exact girl, because we actually ended up hitting it off pretty good. And we never dated. We were just kind of, friends with, the benefits and every once in a while. And I swear on everything, her neighbor's house got broken into one time. Like, whatever it was, they broke out her window and stuff like that, so on and so forth. So we go there to handle the scene. I'm like, wait a minute, I know who lives next door. And I'm like, hey, I'll go ask the neighbor what happened.
I got a few questions for the neighbor next door. Hold on.
So I went next door and I knock on the door. Obviously, she answers. She's like, what do you do? And I'm like, hey, like, can I come inside? I got a few questions for you, trying to play it off because we're still at the door, right? So she's like, yeah, come in. So I came in and she,
I came in.
So I was like, hey, listen, like, I don't have a lot of time. Like, my buddies are out there. They're expecting me to come, question
so
some
you came
some
in,
witness.
You didn't have a lot of time.
So
this
yeah,
is the definition of a quickie.
So I told her. So literally, I was in there. I left my vest on and everything, up top and stuff like that, but just pulled my pants down. She fucking fucked me right there on the couch.
Hey, very nice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. That's very nice. Yes.
But she ended up starting to scream, so I had to cover her mouth.
Fuck.
I'm like,
So
okay.
what was the disturbance call?
No, it was a break-in. Somebody broke into her neighbor's house.
So why your guys? So you just went to the neighbors for no? You're like, oh, I
No,
got
you got to
No.
question. You got to question the neighbor, Mark. Like,
Do you got any cameras? Do you have any?
The other that's pretty good.
No, I know
like
I could have
that.
went
That's
anywhere
nice.
else, Mark. I know I'm very well aware that I could have gone anywhere else, but I didn't.
See, this is what there's got to be. All right, because I'm getting.
Well, okay.
I'm going to
so
expect another
I'm
smuttier
trying-
story.
I'm trying,
is what
I'm
I'm
trying
gonna
not.
expect
No,
here.
mine's not going to be smutty. I'm just
I
going
get
to
that,
ask
yeah.
topical. I'm trying not to give away the location, so I'm just going to say, let's say you're relatively close to the border,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about California because we know that's a whole different kind of crazy. So, did you get a lot of trafficking and things like that coming through?
Wow, we did switch.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a big switch.
That
So
was my
Did
question
you ever
too,
do a
though.
Mexican at the border?
Clearly,
So we didn't get a lot of trafficking stuff in because there was towns a lot closer than we
Sure,
were
sure.
to that. But I mean, obviously, we did get a lot of the illegals. Obviously, very recently that were coming and getting dumped in our town.
Oh, okay.
That would
So
have
they're dumping them there.
That would have nothing but court dates and a IOU. Like I promised to appear. And it was, excuse me, it was ridiculous. You would see illegals, and I mean in groups of 10, just walking up and down like our main street in the town. Just they would take over hotels where it was just rented out for them, and it was insane.
So
And,
I've got to interject here.
Go ahead.
I got to ask. So obviously there's a problem with the border. It doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
a Democrat, you're a Republican. It doesn't matter what you are. So as a front line who sees, you're just seeing the second wave of it. The first wave is even,
Right, even
considered
deeper.
close here. This isn't like something that can be, this has been ignored for a long, long time. This is not something that can just be solved overnight.
Right.
So as somebody who is there, what do you recommend? What do you see that can be done that can help?
I mean, you just got to enforce what's already there, right? You can't just let them come in and drop them off and be like, okay, we'll see you in a month.
But how do you overflow if you arrest them all, or if you? What are you going to do? You can't throw them in the jails, and you can't throw them. It's going to overflow, and there's going to be issues.
So a lot of the time when we would go there and stuff like that, like the illegals that would come over, they would get their process and stuff like that, and then they would just be taken back, right? They would just go and ship them off and drop them off and take them back. But once that stopped happening, it was just overrun with the illegals, which, and then again, I don't care about any of that stuff, but come in legally, right? Do it like everybody else had to do,
Sure.
and then just don't break the laws while you're there.
Exactly.
Like I get if you're here and you're wanting to be an American and stuff like that, cool. But
which do you believe? So I'm going to go on my I'm liberal.
Yeah.
I am. Did you see rapist, druggist on a regular basis? I know you probably saw it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. I'm not stupid
Right.
enough to think that you didn't. But on a ratio of every 10 illegals, what did you see? That
I would say
mostly?
more often than not.
So you're
they-
talking more
they-
than 50%.
More
They were-
than 50%.
They were criminals.
They were
running.
criminals.
They were running from
Yeah.
something.
More
This is
than
what I want to
50%.
know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And again, I
Do you
took-
think they were running to get away from Mexico authorities?
I honestly don't know what they were getting away from, but I just think it was easier to come. They knew it was easier to come here and make money and do the things they want. And for the most part, they would all survive because they would live together, and I mean like 20, 30 in a small house with bunk beds in the kitchen, in the living room, in every bedroom and stuff like that. And then they would all just ship their money back to Mexico, family in Mexico, which again, good on you if you're doing that legally.
But that doesn't make them rapists or druggists that coming in they're just working to try to see what they can do, and this is their way of life.
Right, and I get it, but for the most, again, and that was the good ones. Sorry. That was the ones that came here and worked and just shipped their money over back to their family and stuff like that. Cool, good for you, but just do it legally, like I was saying. But the ones that came here, and again, the majority of it, that was, I took a call one time of a burglary in progress, which you really hardly ever get where it's actually in progress, right? People just say that. But no, this illegal had just broken into these people's houses, and then he literally shattered their window, walked through their house, kind of rummaged through it, and then just went and stood on the sidewalk because he wanted us to take him back to his family because he couldn't do it anymore here.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's wild.
Wow.
So
it's wild. When he could have probably just went and turned himself in or something like that, dude. He did all that.
So why can't I guess? Okay, this is my naiveness here.
Yeah.
Why can't he just walk back over the border?
I don't know. That's what he could have just probably went and turned himself in.
That's what I don't get. If you want to
Patrol,
go back, why can't they just go? Why can't they walk back over the border?
I don't know.
Because you would think probably 20 to 30% of the people that do come realize, okay, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
And if they could just walk back over the border and get back to where they want to be.
This guy didn't take anything.
Nope.
He caused some damage, property damage and stuff like that. So when you have that situation, you find that you get there and he's standing on the corner, you arrest him.
Waiting for his Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
basically. Yeah.
but so okay, you're illegal, so we're not taking you to jail. We're taking you back to the border.
Yep.
But he was probably celebrating it, was he not? He was probably
Right.
not
So-
upset
He was on
about
the
it.
ride.
So
Yeah,
obviously
Uber.
the burglary is a felony, right? So he still goes to jail, but he's on an immigration hold. So he goes to jail overnight. He's on an immigration hold. So whenever he sees the judge the next morning for the city I worked in, then immigration comes and picks him up and takes him back.
Oh.
And that's
And
it.
he's probably done that before.
I'm
He
sure.
probably knows, or his friend told him, this
Yeah,
is what's going to happen,
yeah. It's common
We'll see you
knowledge.
back here
Yeah,
Tuesday
right,
because they're going to
right.
send you, you'll be
Right.
good to go. So,
Wow.
so Kayla, we have been very active in our Ask These Stories. You should be asking a question.
Dad asked mine. Mine was because of the location, kind of dealing with that stuff.
Okay,
It's
what's-
just, I'm still trying to understand that story. How do you just break out a fucking window so you can go back? Like,
Yeah.
why don't you just go back? Is there something at the border?
I think
I've
that's
never.
what we're
probably
doing as a
wanted to run.
society, as a government. They can't just give themselves up at the border because they're going to get taken to jail. And I don't know. I just don't understand that, hey,
I was like,
I'm here
never-
illegally. I don't like it. I want to go back. All right, go. Just go.
I've never been to the border, across the border. I have no interest in doing any of that. So it's like I'm naive as Mark in the sense of like, can he not just fucking open the gate and walk through to
Yeah.
the other side?
See, and again, I can't even answer that because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just know what he did and for the reason he did it, and that's it. And it was astonishing to me.
Yeah. No,
All right, we're going to take a small
Well,
break to
no,
refill.
no,
I was going to take a small break and come back and ask more questions.
Oh, okay. We're gonna come back. And ask more
Yeah,
questions.
we're going to
All
come
right,
back and
all right,
ask some more questions. I think we're just going to refill our drinks and go from there because it's getting really interesting now. So we're
All
going to
right.
come back and ask.
And once again, I've said this 100 times before. Call me out when I say we'll be back in a few minutes because with editing, it's not a few minutes.
It's like 8 seconds.
2 seconds.
All right, we'll be right back.
We didn't
back.
even leave.
Be right back.
See you on the other side. All right, we're back. In the break, Officer Bob has explained we cannot build a wall on the California border.
Damn, son of a bitch.
Ah, damn it. Okay. Anyway, so what we want to know is the myth, the legends, the stories that are passed down from the old days. You got anything good from you've heard from the old guys on the force?
Or were you able to pass to somebody
Yeah,
younger?
something you're going to
know?
pass on, sure.
So I don't think I was anything passed on, but we used to say all the time, like, just don't make your name like a verb, like don't mark something up. You know what I mean? Like don't be a mark about it. So as long as that was fine, you were good. But there was the one thing that I heard about, and again, this is before I even became a cop, was called a blank town 45, which 45 is cop talk for a meetup. Like if you said, hey, like let's 45 at this place, it's like, hey, let's meet up at In-N-Out. Let's 45 at In-N-Out. We meet up at In-N-Out. So they called it, let's say, a Phoenix. We'd call it a Phoenix 45, right? Now, they called it a blank town 45 because there were two cops, married cops, that would meet up, two male married cops that would meet up and give each other head in this parking lot.
Wait.
Wow.
Wait, hold on.
So if you got into a habit with like meeting up with like your buddy, obviously, because everybody has like a shift partner, right? Like a beat partner or something like that. They'd be like, "Hey, like, are you going for a Phoenix 45?" And they meant, like, are you gonna go blow your buddy?
Did you ever send somebody there on purpose?
It was fucking amazing.
That's funny stories. So what's a story that you couldn't tell when you were a cop that you can officer? Sorry, you don't like cops. Sorry, I apologize. Officer that you can now tell because you're no longer employed.
So having the sex with the girl on duty was one of them.
That's pretty good. That was a good story.
So again, like I was talking about earlier about, when people are recording you, it takes away my ability to let you go. Right?
Okay, so we got to talk early then. That didn't happen early in your career, right?
No, so it didn't. Like, cell phones have always been around, right? It just got popular to record people, in the last, 6 years, maybe 5, 6 years?
Yeah.
So pretty early on, we got a call of like a party at like a Ramada, right? It's like a park Ramada, and they rented it out. Blah, blah, blah. There's a party, and it's too loud. Like, again, fuck off, right? Like, nobody cares. Like, just, it's a party. It's Friday night. Like, they're having a birthday party, whatever. So we get there, and me and my beat partner, and obviously
45, Phoenix 45.
Yeah. So we get there, and there's just like a little party going on, this little Ramada, and you could smell weed, which was before weed was legal. So, I mean, that dates it back a little bit, right? So, hey, and we walk up to the party for however reason. They don't see us, obviously, because they're from the party, right? So we walk up, and there's a big bag of weed sitting on the table. And I'm like, oh, God, like, hey, whose weed is this? And first of all, hey, what are you guys doing here? We try to ignore the weed at first. Like, hey, what are you guys doing here? Oh, it's a birthday party where, we're just celebrating. Okay, whose birthday is it? What's his right there? Okay, cool. Hey, so, you guys got to keep it down a little bit, but also a bigger problem is whose bag of weed is that? And the birthday boy raises his hand. It's mine. Sorry. And I'm like, okay, hey, like, birthday boy's going to stay here with me. The rest of you guys go away for a little bit. So they all go away, and we tell the guy, hey, listen, I know it's your birthday. You got to keep it down a little bit with the music and stuff like that, right? Because you're right outside of an apartment complex, so on and so forth. But we're going to leave that weed right there. Me and my buddy are going to turn around and walk back to our cars to grab a bag to put the weed in. And if we turn around and you and that weed aren't here, there's really not much we could do about it, right? And he just nods. Like, okay.
Nice.
So we turn around, we walk back to our car, and we just stand there and bullshit for a couple minutes. We turn around, and everybody's gone. We're like,
He said, get the shit.
Right?
Go, 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 go.
So we're like 2 birds, 1 stone, right? We don't have to take a report for the bullshit bag of weed that nobody cares about. And the party's now dispersed, so everybody's happy, right? Like, nobody's going to call in anymore and complain about the fucking loud noise.
So what is your, I'm going to ask like a moral question. What is your cutoff? Say it was Coke. Say it wasn't weed. It was something stronger that you. What is your Officer Bob's cutoff?
Yeah, I think weed's a cutoff.
So if there was
Coke
or
meth
now,
or
I
something
agree.
crazy.
Anything over Coke, I say you got to do.
Yeah.
Coke, I'd be like, blow it off right now. Blow it off the table, and you leave unless they're like, whatever.
Let me ask a question that I dealt with that I have a story about. But you show up in an apartment, and everyone's 18, 17, 18.
Yeah, good. I know where he's going with this. This is good.
And they're drinking.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I have sex with them.
Did you miss the part when he said 17?
No, he said 18. He said 18.
I didn't hear the 17 at all. I heard
and
18. I heard 18.
Jeez.
Anyway.
So this actually happens a lot,
Yes.
right? So we pull up, and we hit our lights and sirens.
And they run like
They scatter
cockroaches.
like roaches.
Problem
don't they?
solved, right? Everybody fucking runs and
They
problem
run
solved.
like
Do you guys
roaches.
laugh your ass off when you do that?
Absolutely.
That is what's fun. Let's do this. That would be fun. Do you ever have a McLovin moment? Did you ever freaking,
So
from Superbad?
here's what I'm saying, right? So we normally do that. Everybody runs, nobody, right? And everybody just disperses, and we kind of just stand out there and watch them all run home, right? Nobody fucking cares, right? This one time, my buddy, he again, my area partner and I, we go
Phoenix
to this
45.
we go to this party and we hit our lights and sirens, we flash our lights, blah blah blah. Everybody takes off running, right? So this one kid, probably 17, 18 years old, comes out with like 2 24-packs under his arm. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like, are you serious?
idiot!
Yeah,
You
just
idiot!
go home. So
He
we're
paid
like,
for that.
so then we yell like, "Hey, fucking drop it!" And he looks at us, and then he takes off running. And I'm like,
with the
"Yeah!"
24
And I'm like, "God damn it!" Well,
now I
we
gotta get out.
now we have to do something, right? But my buddy is like this 5'8", like stocky, fucking ripped little dude, bro. And he fucking Brian Urlacher this fucking kid. And I'm like, well, now we have to do paperwork, like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's what sucks now, all the paperwork you got to do. That
So-
would just suck.
So yeah, so we did that, but that was the only time. But for the most part, again, well, no, I take that back. There was one other time, but for the most part, there's just that little thing, right? You just hit your lights, party disperses, everybody goes home, right? Because we were all kids once, right? We all go and do that stuff, and it's fun, and nobody wants to get arrested. But okay, party's over now. The cops are here, right? Everybody knows that line.
Right.
But the one idiot that has to run out with 2 24-packs, it's like, you fucking idiots.
All right, so I want to know, as a professional, what do you think happened at the end? Okay, so partying, we're all 17, 18, and 19 years old. We're in my apartment. There's about 15 of us in my little one-bedroom apartment. Cops show up at the door. Knock, knock, knock. They open the door, and I'm like, oh, hey, everyone, cops are here. And they're like, yeah, a little loud. Is anyone here over 21? I'm like, honestly, no. And he's like, oh, and you're drinking? Yes, sir. I said, I know you're going to have to take the stuff. Do you want it in the boxes that came in, or just put them in bags? He's like, what? I'm like, you're going to have to take stuff, so I'm just saving us some time here. Do you want them in the boxes? He goes, in the boxes that came in would be great. I'm like, all right. So I went over to the refrigerator, and I'm packing up 2 cases of beer. We had just had a ton of beer.
We had 4.
Yeah.
No. So I'm over there packing things up, and they're just in 12 packs, but I had 2 cases. And he says, Jim, come over here. I'm like, yes, sir. Come back, and I'm all polite and everything. He's like, you're the most cooperative person we've ever dealt with. If they just see us leave with a 12-pack, we'll just go. I'm like, oh, you just want a 12-pack? I'm like, yep. Let the people who call us see us leave with something, and then you guys just be quiet. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Then they
So
looked in the bag, and Jim fucked him over and gave him 2 12-packs of Coke.
I gave them a 12-pack of beer. But my question is, what happened after that? Did they keep that? Did they destroy it? What do
They
you think?
just destroyed it.
Destroyed
Yeah,
it? Okay.
100%. Yeah.
There's no good stories of, like, back in the old days where officers getting fucked up, drinking, and going downtown. Dude, there's none
No.
because I've heard
Come
those
on, Mark,
stories.
these are
man.
officers. They're
No.
professionals.
But-
Well, I know, but I know that happened. I know.
I mean,
I know
Not
that
necessarily in his realm.
Right, I
Right.
know. So it's a big difference. Like, so in the old days, I used to hear stories. The old days. Okay, so when I'm older than you.
right.
When the horse and
Officer
buggy
Bob
used
is a little
to.
younger
Yeah.
than me.
Yeah, when the
So-
sheriff came into town.
If you got pulled over for a DUI, they would say, "How far do you live from here? Where do you live?" And all right, don't do it again. Slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Don't do it again. Blah blah blah. Those days are long gone. I mean,
Absolutely.
and I'm not just saying on DUIs. There's the stories. I think have just changed from what you guys put up with now to what.
He just told us stories, though. About
Well, no, in
back
the
pot.
80s, in the 90s, you were a kid, and
Yeah.
so
Was
I'm
he
thinking,
even? Were you even born, Officer Bob?
yeah. I'm not that young.
it's just different when I hear stories about, oh yeah, when I got my DUI, they just told me to go home. In fact,
Yeah.
one officer followed me home to make sure I got home okay. I mean, that
So now that
it blows my mind that doesn't happen today.
I've never followed somebody home because, God, the liability on that would be
Sure.
insane,
Yeah.
right? However, I've probably let more people go for DUI than I've arrested, and I haven't let them drive. I give them 2 options. and I tell them option A is you throw your keys and everything you have in your pockets on the floorboard, and we lock every door in this car, and you shut the doors, and you walk or Uber home. Or I impound your truck and take you to jail for DUI. And guess how often they chose the latter?
Sure.
You're right.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this is going to lead me to my next question. The dick cops.
Yeah.
You had to work with the dick
Yeah,
cops.
that was going to be my question. Was
Yeah.
there? Did you have cops that were just absolute pricks who were just out there?
That
Oh,
had,
100%.
you knew that they had issues
100%.
growing up.
Yeah,
That they're cops because they had issues growing up.
to the point where they would get promoted, and now they're sergeant fucking dickheads, and now it's not even they're fucking with the public. Now they're fucking with their officers because you got picked on when you were in school and whatever else you want to say about them, which is 100% true. You could weed them out. You could see them from a mile away. Like, this fucking guy doesn't have any friends, probably never fucking did. And now that we're all supposed to be a part of a brotherhood and be cool with each other, he's still in the mindset of fucking everybody over because he's a piece of shit.
Wow.
And he doesn't have any friends.
So that is real.
1,000,000%.
What's the percentage of cops that you worked with that are like that?
I would say, geez, I would say out of every 10 cops there was that I work with, there would be one that was like that.
Okay. And so I'm going to ask another hard question here. How many officers that you worked with that you thought were racist and did maybe not right things?
You know what? I don't think any of them, and that's 100%
really. Okay.
honest.
Honestly, you didn't come across, which I respect. I hope that's the truth.
Yeah.
But in today's day and age, you've seen a lot of what's going on, and George Floyd and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, in your town of 120,000 people, was there an officer that you thought was like,
Yeah, there was never anybody like that. In 11 years and going and seeing hundreds of people come and go, there was never anybody that we thought, that guy did that because he's racist. No, it's most of the time it's, hey, that guy did that because he's a fucking dick.
Okay.
But other than that, it was nothing else.
Okay. Because that's, seriously, people want to know that kind of stuff. And you try to look at it.
And I'm not even here to say that that's not a possibility. It just wasn't where I was. And there's 100% chance of somebody being a racist asshole or something else. Do I think it's the cases that you hear about? No, I don't. Because I think, if you go through some of these cases, just like, hey, the cop is telling you to put your hands up. What's a good decision to make when the cop tells you to put his hands up? Put your fucking hands up.
Tell him to fight me.
You're right, yeah. Like, I don't care what color you are, or how old you are or anything like that. It just goes to, like, hey, like, I get it, but right now, we could argue about anything afterwards. But right now, I'm the authority here, and I'm telling you to do something, and you have to listen.
Yeah, my whole thing is, on all these videos, I don't see, in the beginning parts of it, where you just say, hey, put your hands up or put your hands behind your back. If you just do that, I think it alleviates a ton of problems. If you already don't do that, it's gonna it
already turns bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so going off what you just said, and this might, anyway, were you accused of being racist? Did you have guys just start wailing on you or try to at least? Because
no, like I got it a couple times where people would be like, like, oh, your only fucking do is this because you're racist. I'm like, dude, I have a Mexican wife and 4 half Mexican kids, so not really.
Not now. I'm having burritos for dinner. Goddammit. What are you talking about?
If anything, I'm on your team. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah, like,
Fuck those white people.
Yeah, like,
just kidding.
So that was.
We'll be back on BET.
Damn crackers.
God.
So
Shit.
Did you? Were you ever in a situation?
Where you hated white people?
Every day.
You could be entitled to some compensation.
Just tell me if you don't want to talk about it. Were you ever in a situation though where you feared for your life?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the crazy part about that is, and this is going to sound very arrogant and like I'm an asshole. But
he's officer asshole.
We got Mark here. Good luck beating that.
Yeah.
But literally nothing scares me, and I don't know how or why, but I can be the calmest person in a hectic situation ever.
Unless the Cardinals are losing, then he gets just as upset. So.
Was that before you started the force, or did you develop that?
No, I've always been like that, and it was a very good attribute to have. And I used to get shit all the time from the dispatchers because they would actually say, like, we can't tell if you are actually in trouble for something or if you just like want somebody there. You know, like there's a big difference between a 905 for us is like I need backup, but a 907 is like shit's gonna hit the fan, right?
I like the Phoenix 45.
Yeah, you would, Mark.
You do like them blowing you. That's so
I know
awkward.
some guys.
They were awesome. Okay, so don't judge me.
Anyway.
But so yeah, like the 90, even when I would call a 907, which is, you know, hey, shit's hitting the fan, like I'm fighting or whatever, I would do it so calmly because I know if I stay calm 99% of the time, I'm going to win anyways. Right? Like I'm trained. I have the bat belt, you know, with all this stuff on me, like,
Sure.
And it is what it is. But I've never had to shoot anybody, thankfully. I've never had to do anything crazy. Crazy enough, I have the most tasings at my department ever. Like, but because again,
did that account the Mexican chick?
Yeah.
At the house.
No, it'd be fun.
But she was into that though. It doesn't count.
Next time you're on, we'll have you bring a taser and we'll
Tase Mark.
I would do it. I would take a tase.
So with that,
tase.
were you tased in training?
Twice.
Like, how bad was it?
It's not bad. It completely locks you up for the 5-second ride or whatever it is, and you can't move. But it's not bad. I would take being tased 10 times over than being pepper sprayed one fucking time.
I knew it was coming.
We should
No.
tase.
No.
Should. That would be fun.
We should not.
No,
Listen,
I'm off tasing Mark. Let's do that. Next live show. Woohoo.
Mark, I could get my hands on a taser, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Dude,
I got $5. Let me chip in.
Okay, so I had a question the entire time these two were talking, and then I would forget it, and then I would remember, and then they'd ask another good question. So I finally remembered my question. My question is, I guess it's going into like the myth side that Mark and Dad were trying to bring up earlier. Is there an actual like quota of like tickets? Like, have you heard people say that? Like, oh, this dick must have needed like
his quota,
so he pulled me over.
Right. 100% not.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a quota. It's illegal to have a quota and stuff like that. Now, I spent the last 4 years of my career in traffic doing nothing but traffic enforcement. So citations, I was on a motorcycle, citations, stuff like that. We never, ever had a quota because you cannot have that.
Did you have a goal?
However,
A finish line.
However, we have to keep ourselves busy, right? Because that's our only job, is to do that. Mm-hmm. We're not a monkey to the radio anymore. We don't take patrol calls. I don't go to the DVs or the disturbances or the crazy ladies or anything like that. My only job is to do traffic stops and to take traffic collisions and stuff like that.
I know I said I was only going to ask one question. Was there key things that you would look for when someone was driving, or like the color of the car, or them weaving in and out of traffic?
Red car means, you know.
And
No,
also, I'm going to
again.
build on that. So,
Go ahead.
if you're in a regular job and they say, hey, you need to average 6.2 sales an hour, that's what we're expecting. Mm-hmm. Is that what we're expecting? 5.8 citations an hour.
No. So there
That's
was
a quota.
There's never any
Yeah,
there's never any citation quotas or anything like that because you literally can't do it. So fun fact about myself is I hold the record for the most traffic stops in a day at my police department, and I had 82 stops.
Holy shit!
Now does
Good
anybody?
job.
Now I had 82 stops. Does anybody want to guess how many actual citations I wrote that day?
10.
3.
15.
1.
1.
Was that the same day you went?
So you
your Mexican girlfriend over at her
an 8-hour shift.
10-hour shift.
10-hour shift.
10-hour
You
shift.
stopped 82 people.
8.2 an hour.
One citation.
One citation.
Wow.
And you
What
want to know
was the
why?
citation
And you
for?
want to know why I wrote that one citation? So 82 stops, and I had 76 of them for the same violation on the same corner.
Showing your boobs?
And it was for, I wish. And it was for making a wide turn. Now, at this particular intersection, the wide turn was a problem because the other lane got to merge automatically. They didn't have to stop for the red, right? So that wide turn would create a traffic collision, right? Because they weren't turning into the proper lane.
Gotcha.
So the lane going south, so the lane going...
it was a loophole.
So the lane going north wouldn't have to stop. They just got to turn. The lane going south had to turn into the proper lane in order to stop that, right?
Okay.
But the lane going north would always make a wide turn and cause a collision, right? So that was a problem at this particular intersection. So I monitored that intersection that day and made 82 traffic stops. 1 citation. You want to know what that 1 citation was for?
What?
That guy being a fucking asshole.
You should put that on the ticket. Asshole.
And because I was just educating people. These were education stops, all of them. Hey, listen, we've had a lot of complaints and a lot of collisions at this particular intersection, so please make the proper turn, blah, 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 on to the next one.
Yeah,
and
have a good day.
I would loop around. I made that loop so many times. It was right by a mortuary. The people running the mortuary actually went to the gas station that was next door and bought me Gatorades and a sandwich because they were like, "We really appreciate you being here because we see this shit all the time."
Which you would think, like, they would be like, "Get the fuck off this
No.
corner! You're ruining our business."
They were super cool about it, right? And the one guy that I stopped, though, was a fucking asshole. And if any police officer ever tells you that there's no such thing as an asshole ticket, he's a fucking liar.
What's his name?
You're right. Yeah.
How'd that go in court? Okay, you're charged with being an asshole. I mean, what did you write? What did you write the citation for?
I wrote him a citation for making the
wide turn.
illegal wide turn, right? And again, he fought the ticket, right? But again, body cams. Thank you. So not only did I get his wide turn on body cam, but I also got him running his mouth on the traffic stop the whole time,
Nice.
calling me an asshole and telling me I don't fucking know and I have nothing better to do. And honestly, when he told me that on body cam, he said, "What, do you not have anything fucking better to do?" And I said, "Honestly, not really. This is really my only job today."
Why do people suck so much?
I don't know.
And so that was it. So there's no quota. There's no nothing like that. I did 82 traffic stops in a day and wrote 1 citation. So that goes to tell you that there's no such thing.
Interesting.
Good, all right.
All right. Well, we're going to take a little break. We'll come back with our game. I'm coming back. All right, we're having a little editing issues here. Okay, we're back. Mark's got a game for us. What'd you call your game?
So, the whole night we've been talking about officers and we've been talking about laws, we've been talking about stuff. So I decided to play a game, law or no law. Myth or law is basically what it's going to be. So I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions, okay? And whoever gets 3 of them first is going to get nothing, but you're going to win. But you are going to win, and you get to. So to say.
Remember when we had prizes and we actually wanted to win?
I know. What did you do with that record?
I left it here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 20. Go.
14.
12.
15.
You win. 15. Number
You just fucking prices righted me, you asshole.
I was thinking of 17, so first, second, third. That's what I was thinking. So here is our first question, okay? Is it law or is it myth? In the United States, there is no living U.S. president featured on our currency. Living presidents.
This is a law. Or
this is a law.
Oh, all right.
Myth.
No, that is true.
No shit.
Yes, there are no living presidents on any of our freaking money, and it's why you say, "Pay me my dead presidents." Is that's when you pay.
Because
So,
anyone
yes,
in 2024 has heard that
that
statement.
is a law. Yes, that is a law. So you lose.
So it is a law that you cannot have a current president on a
living president.
A living president on a
Currency.
bill.
That's crazy.
So,
Okay.
so right now,
I don't even know what bills look like anymore. I haven't had cash in.
All right. So, Kayla, he's missed. You're up. First one to answer 3 wins this. He's really interested because he's on his phone over there on Tinder or whatever. Fucking Officer Bobby's doing.
Don't be a
over there.
hater.
Okay. All right. You can't have a donkey sleeping in your bathtub after 7 p.m. Law or myth?
That is a law.
That is a law. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. In
Arizona,
Arizona, you cannot have a donkey sleeping in your bathtub after 7 p.m. I don't know what you do before 7 p.m. I have no idea. Apparently, everything's okay,
All right,
so I don't know.
Officer Bob, the last time you got the call for a donkey sleeping in the bathtub after 7, did you just let him go?
Yeah. Officer Bob, let me know. Yes.
That's a story he can't talk about.
Yeah. I just had to pick my ex-wife up out of the tub and put her back down.
Oh,
Yikes.
nice. All right. That's good.
Yikes.
Fuck you guys. That was
Officer
funny.
Bob with the line of the night. That's great. Okay. So, Jim, are you ready to play myth or law?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
It is illegal to serve artificial butter in prisons.
Myth.
It's a law in Wisconsin. You cannot serve artificial butter to prisoners in prison.
Oh, okay. Now, if you would have said Wisconsin, that's
Oh,
different.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
No,
different
I'm not
state.
giving the state. No, you
No,
lost.
because
Don't
most-
try to justify why you lost.
No, because I'll tell you why. Because most states would want to save the money and serve the margarine. Wisconsin, on the other hand, who has a surplus of real butter,
No.
they could paint the town with
Just
butter.
accept your
All right, that's
negative. Okay, just accept it, Jim. Okay, all right. That's so. You're still leading 1-0. You get 3, you win.
I know about
All
my
right,
donkeys in the bathtub.
Officer Bob, you ready?
Yes, sir.
A frog that loses a frog jumping competition cannot be eaten. Myth or law?
Law.
That is a law. Yes, in
In what?
California.
Oh.
If you have
Of
a frog
course it
that is
is.
in a frog
Build the
jumping
wall.
competition,
Build the wall.
if it
That way the fucking
loses,
frogs can't jump over it.
you are not able to eat that frog. Absolutely, you are right. So it's 1-1. Good job. Give me some applause on that. Come on, man. That's it. Good job. I didn't know if you'd get that. Okay. No, that's okay. All right. So you're. It's 1-1 to 0. All right. You ready, Kayla?
Mm-hmm.
This is big.
Heard that before.
From the Mexican girl.
That's what she never said to Mark.
Yeah, never. Okay. It is illegal for a pawnbroker to accept an artificial limb or wheelchair as payment.
That's a law.
That is a law. Yes. Give it to her. Yes, it is. Can you imagine going in as you like Stumpy, you're on both things, and you're like, I want to pawn this. Can you give me, yeah, I'll give you $50 for your leg.
I wonder if that's like a moral thing. Like,
Yeah, right.
you
Yeah.
can't take that
Yeah,
gentleman's leg.
I don't know. That's kind of big. Okay.
I wonder
So
if anyone's
you're-
ever trying to pawn their eye.
Oh, you should do that, Jim.
Sure.
I'll give you $12. Ah,
How
okay.
much will you give me for this class I? You're drunk, sir. Please leave. I was
Okay.
I was dared to.
Are you ready, Jim?
I am ready.
So, do police officers have to answer correctly if they say, or if the person pulled over says, "Are you a cop?"
That's a law.
No. It is a
No.
myth. They do not have
Really?
to. It's a bunch
I
of
thought you
bullshit.
had to
They
disclose.
do not have to answer. They do not have
Shut
to.
up.
Is that
I want to go to the expert, Officer Bob. They don't have to disclose that they are an officer.
So, I where's this from, Mark? Go ahead.
Doesn't say.
Wikipedia?
No.
So-
what-
No, I
if you
looked
tell me this
it
is
up
California,
online. I looked it up online. This is legit. If somebody asks you, "Are you a cop?" they are not required by law to say "I am."
So, two things. A, if it's the law, okay, but that's like undercover work mostly. So now, as a patrol officer, like if you pull somebody over, if you're on a traffic stop, you have to identify yourself, and you have to give them like if they request like your badge number or
Sure.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like undercover, because people claim that all the time. Oh, this is entrapment. If you don't tell me you're a
Yeah,
cop,
that's what
no,
I'm
you're
looking
full
for.
of shit. Yeah, I don't have to. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
not
makes
a law.
sense, but not just a regular officer.
Well,
Right. I think there's a line in there somewhere that you missed on Wikipedia there, Merc.
No, what?
Trevor in his basement was.
Yeah, like easy
them.
Karen.
All right. So,
California law.
do you have 2 or 1?
I have one.
1. You have 2. All right. So,
No, I have two.
oh.
Mark has the sun on over there.
Shut up. Okay.
This old ass.
Okay. Is this a law or not a law, Officer Bob? One-armed piano players must perform for free.
It's got to be a law.
It is a law. Yes, it is. In Iowa. Yes.
It seemed crazy enough that it had to be a law.
One-armed piano player, you must play for free where you're at.
Because
That
you're
is a
only
law.
getting half a perforance.
I guess so. You only got to pay half the admission fee. Yes. I think
gonna
What does he charge for a hand job?
Half price.
Okay, so far he's winning. Okay, yes. All right, are you ready, Caleb? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Driving without shoes on, is that a law or not a law?
It is a law.
No,
No.
it is not.
Really?
A law.
Someone lied to me?
You can
Someone
drive
fucking
without
told
shoes
me
on.
you
Yes.
had to wear shoes when you drive because I never wear shoes when I drive. I can't.
It is not a law.
I have to feel the
It is
brake
just
pedal.
unsanitary and disgusting. So
Yeah.
please put your fucking shoes on.
Don't drive in my car.
Mark would always drive with his shoes off just so he could feel the engine.
I still do when
You
I was
still?
shifting gears. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
I have to.
All right, Jimbo, you ready?
Sure.
Mark drives with his shoes off so he can feel something hard and 6
I
inches.
drive with my
He has
I drive
no
with my
idea.
pants off. I've been okay, Jim, you ready?
Yes.
Having your cabin lights on while driving will get you pulled over.
That's a myth.
That's not a law. You are correct.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
So you lied to me every time I turn the cabin lights on?
No, I said it's dangerous. I never said it was a law. I
Yes.
said-
No, you said if I turn those lights on, we're
Okay,
going to
what
get...
dad has not said that?
There's not a single dad in the world that hasn't said that.
You should get this pretty easy, okay, Officer Bob?
Dads are liars.
Splashing pedestrians with a puddle is a criminal act.
A myth.
No, it's a law. You cannot
No
do-
way.
Yes, it is. It's a real. Holy shit! Yes, it's a real law.
Why is that
Where?
the one?
A real law.
Yeah,
you
where?
cannot pull up and splash people.
Where?
You know, does it matter?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
It's a real law. I'm telling you. Okay, it's a real. Okay, so we're gonna do the last round.
Yeah, we're running along. Let's go.
All right. You ready, Officer Bob?
Yes, sir.
It's illegal to fart in public after 6 p.m.
Law.
Yes, it is a law in Florida. You cannot
Holy
fart in
shit.
public after 6 a.m. You can't, or 6 p.m. You
Oh.
cannot.
I was going to say 6 a.m.
6 p.m. You can't fart in public. Yes, he's
Holy
right.
shit.
Nuts.
I'm going to jail.
All right, Kaylee, you ready for the last one?
Yep.
You cannot take a picture of a rabbit between January and April without a permit.
I'm going to say this is a law.
It is a law in Wyoming. Yes, this is
Those are
good.
treasured
Yes,
animals.
in Wyoming, you cannot take a picture of a rabbit between January and April. I don't know why. I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right.
Wow. Wow. We're running out of time here.
All right, Jim.
Yeah.
Last one. Last
Thank
one.
God.
All right. An unsigned traffic ticket or speeding ticket will be dropped.
Do, do, do.
Do 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 do.
I'm going to say myth.
Can I
That
answer
is
that? Can
a
I,
myth.
yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna say, yeah.
it is a myth.
Do
you want to know?
Yes.
Do you want to know why that's a myth?
Yes.
Because it's a civil violation.
Yeah.
It's not a criminal violation.
Right.
A civil violation you do not have to sign for. You just have to have proof that I served you with it, which
Yeah.
is
So we-
my copy of it is proof that you got served with it, so you don't have to
Right.
sign.
Signing it doesn't
Admit guilt.
So,
we
yeah.
finished all three of us on a positive. Good. Give us some round of applause. Come
Oh
on,
my
man.
God.
Yeah.
I
all
really
right.
need a new applause put in.
So, guys, I think this is a good episode.
This
This
is
is
good.
What do
This
you
is
think?
good.
Are you raising your hand? Yes, Kayla. You have a question.
Pick me. Let's end this.
Yes,
I'm
what would you-
cold. My feet are freezing.
Is it a question or was that a statement? I'm not quite sure what it was. Officer Bob, did you have a good time
did
tonight?
You have anything?
No.
I did.
Okay.
Thank you guys for having me. I look forward to doing it again. This was very fun.
This is a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
This is why we do this. I think we'll get 4 downloads.
Yeah.
Woohoo! The 4 people around the fire.
A girl you date with We'll edit here.
I'm gonna tell her not to listen to it for the story
That's what
they
everybody
told you
says.
earlier.
It sucks.
Be
It
like,
sucks,
I'm just
man.
gonna, hey baby, Mark said it's unavailable. Like you can't listen to it. Like I'm sorry.
This was a fun night.
right.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, hey, thanks,
Anybody
everyone.
got a last word?
No,
Kayla?
that's going to wrap it
No,
up.
that's gonna do it. Okay. Good night.
All right, we're running a little bit long. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. Thanks everyone for listening. Please share the show. Please go to our Facebook page and like the page. Check out our live show if you want to take a nap. But anyway, yes, thanks for listening, and we're going to try to do better getting back on the radio schedule every other week.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody.
Good night, everybody.